Hello everybody and welcome to Ulster County Native Nursery. This video is going to be about spring cleanup. This is our native perennial garden in the winter, and you can see a lot of the perennials are standing. We made a video about this. It's posted on YouTube that you can check out and kind of understand how we kind of landscape this for the winter. But now we're going to discuss how we're going to clean this up. So I just wanted to show you a picture of what it looked like at the end of March, and we're going to be going through now and showing you what it looks like now in April. All right, before we get started, I wanted to show you this video. This was taken at March 31st. I was sitting outside in the garden, and I was looking at the Joe Pye weed that I had cut down. This stem that you're looking at, I cut back last year, so this was an old growth from an old stem, and I noticed these bees flying in and out of it. So those are these stem nesting bees that were utilizing the Joe Pye weed. You can see how they hollowed it out and used that over winter. So what we're going to discuss is how we can create more habitat for these stem nesting bees and how we go about and when we go about cutting these stems. This is our New York Aster, and what you see right there is the flower heads. On the bottom left, you can see some of the seeds left, but most of the seeds are gone. We left these for the birds. The birds love the seeds, and you can see the new growth is coming up, and all the flower heads are pretty much void of any seeds. So that was kind of our clue that it's done its job. It's time to remove it, to let that new growth start to emerge. There's a couple seeds left, but not many. And you could do whatever you want with those. You could take those seeds and sow them somewhere else if you like. This is one of our smooth blue aster. This is the beginning of April. You can see the new growth in the center, but you could also see the flower stalks, how they fell over at the end of the year. No seeds left. There's a few seeds left in there. I shouldn't say no seeds left, but the important thing about that is when the plant falls over like that, that's how the seeds spread. And you have the mother plant right there that you're looking at, but as the plant spreads, those seeds spreads, that's how you get genetic diversity within your plants. So we kind of just let them do what they want. The birds were pretty much done with them, so we're going to go ahead and remove those branches. I'm not going to disturb much of the leaves because there's still a lot of stuff underneath those leaves. So as you can see here, we just cut back the stems and left all of the fallen leaves in place for Mother Nature to continue to do its thing. So our bronze fennel, important host plant, I just went ahead and removed those stems. I cut those right off at the base. I saw some new growth coming in. I was just careful not to disturb the leaf matter at the bottom and left some of the stems. Next is our purple spotted Joe Pye weed. You can see the seeds are completely gone from that, so really there is no reason to continue to have it. I figured I'd make some homes for the stem nesting bees. So this is the one you saw in the beginning of the video where the bees were coming out of. So I just went ahead and cut those stalks back. There were no seeds left for the birds. So now it's the beginning of April, and there'll be some more homes in there for these stem nesting bees that they can continue to utilize. And I'm still leaving the stems from the previous year in there. So there's the last year's stems and now this year's stems. This is our Helianthus Angustifolius in the sunflower family, one of our taller perennials. And first I'm going to show you some of the stems that we had cut from last year. There's one of the stems from last year that was cut. You can see it's hollowed out. That means that there's been a bee in there right now, so we're not going to cut that. We're going to leave it and remove the rest of them. So you can see some of them are hollowed out, and some of them are filled with the pith. So the ones that are filled are the ones that we just cut. Notice that I did not cut the ones from last year because there are bees in there. So what's going to happen is those bees are going to stay in there. They're going to come out now, and the new generation of bees is going to hollow out the stems with the pith in it. Again, you can see how we did not disturb the leaves below, trying to leave that intact as much as we could. This was April 4th. You're looking at our Rudbeckia Laciniata. And you could see some of the stems again that we left from last year. And we're not going to remove those. We're going to leave those because there are currently bees in there now. And what we're going to do is start to cut back the old stems. And here you can see on the left is an old stem and on the right is a new stem. You can see the difference in the pith. That one's hollowed out, so there's most definitely a bee in there. So again, we're going to leave that so those bees can emerge and they'll have fresh stems for the new generation of bees. So our yellow giant hyssop, we did the same thing, cut back some of the stems for the bees. Bees like those because they're hollow. We had the new growth coming and the birds weren't eating the seed head much, so we decided it was time to go ahead and cut those back. A little before and after, you can see we left a Helianthus stem and a pokeweed stem standing for the birds to utilize. They still like to use them. This was a fun project with some of the good stems that I had left over. Made some boxes, put some dirt in the bottom, and stuck those stems in there. You can see some of them are hollowed out from the bees. And I took them to a couple events last year, and it was funny. You actually got to see some of the bees actually utilizing it and hollowing them out right there. So interesting project if you're up for it, or you can just take some stems that you cut off and just stick them in the mud. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed the video. As a reminder for what we did for our cleanup, our spring cleanup, we did not disturb any of the ground matter, and we did not cut our stems back that we had already cut back from the previous year. All we did was add to those stems. So we cut back some new stems, and you can leave them anywhere from 8 inches to 24 inches tall. It's pretty much your preference. I just like to leave them at different diameters, so smaller bees can use the smaller ones and the larger ones can use the larger stems. So that's kind of how I based where I was cutting my stems at. But hopefully everybody enjoyed it, and please continue to follow us, and we appreciate it. Thank you. We'll see you in the summer.
On a podcast in 2021, Farley's fellow cast member Jim Brewer reflects on that week